giving you a kiss with a cup of coffee, sending you out the door, and then spending 5 hours in front of Oprah Winfrey, 5 more hours in front of her friends, talking shit all the time. Telling them how good it is to do what they've done. And can't you control your man that way? You know, these anti-feminists are not anti-feminists. They're camouflaged, right? They're chameleons. They're chameleons. They really are still feminists, and it's not their fault. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not their fault that this is how they are. They were born as women, and they've been manipulated mentally. They've been trained. They've been indoctrinated. And all of that, if you want to look at it in terms of a computer program, they have a standard operating procedure as a feminist. And it will come back out. It will come back out. You know, one of the things that bugs the living shit out of me, is the whisperer. Right? The whispering in the ear. Let's say you got an anti-feminist. You know, she was raised, she had a pretty good upbringing, she went to school, she got all the indoctrination there, she gets it through the media, movies, teen magazines, teen websites, teen blogs, teen social media, all this feminist crap, and somehow she's managed to reject it. When she's yours, supposedly, she's going to have friends, and they will whisper in her ear. And no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you give, and Jordan Peterson, no matter how much you sacrifice, and no matter how much you listen to them, they're going to listen to their friend as well. And that friend is a toxic mole that will be in her ear, telling her how bad you are, how she could have it all, how she needs to control you. And you will ultimately lose. The amount of time you put into a woman, if you put in 1 hour, 2 hours of dedicated, hardcore, I love you, honey attention, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, you cannot change that base program that they got growing up. You can't beat it. You can't. It is now them. It is who they are. Now, I want to talk about this thing called borderline personality disorder. It's a really, really destructive, insidious problem that many, many, many women have. And it's because of what their mothers do to them that creates this. Borderline personality creates more borderline personality disorder. Now, it causes self-destructive, selfish behavior. And it usually rides along with narcissistic personality disorder quite a bit as well. Now, the borderline, now I'm going to give you a series of ifs and numbers. If the borderline personality disordered woman recognizes and accepts that she has a problem, if she goes to therapy, it will take 4 to 5 years of intense psychotherapy in order to make about a 50% improvement in how they deal with life and reality. And I think like 2 in 100 will even talk to a psychologist and recognize they have a fucking problem. Now, here's my problem with the numbers. is there are borderline personality women running around everywhere. Look up borderline personality disorder. And they don't even know it. They refuse to get help because they refuse to believe anything could possibly be wrong with them. And for those that are told they are, they get psychotherapy, takes 5 or 6 years, and guess what? They only get half, 50% improvement, and then they can revert nearly instantly back to their old ways for whatever reason. Right? They can, just like an alcoholic, one sip of alcohol, they're back off the wagon, they're fucked up every day. Same with the borderline. These personality disorders now are no longer 5% or 10% of the population. There is an explosion in this because they're taking the female animal, the woman, and they're putting a bad program in it called feminism, the feminist ideology. And it does not work well. And so you end up with disorders, psychological disorders. That's why you could be fine with your woman. Everything's great 1 minute. And in 5 seconds, she can snap and go 180 degrees rogue on you. That is exactly what you're going to face with the anti-feminist. Exactly. Do not think you've got a woman who is intelligent and won't be converted back. Don't think you've got a woman who's intelligent and has abandoned her evil ways. Don't think you've got a woman who is miraculously normal and says, I've rejected feminism my whole life. That is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's an act. They're playing a role. They are still narcissistic. They are still selfish. They are still materialistic beings. How can they not be? They've been putting up with, they've been listening to, they've been having it fed into their ears and through their eyes. Women are jealous, envious of other women and what they have. They're jealous and envious of what men can do. And they want that. They want what other women have. They want what men have. They covet things. So they get a man to get what they want, and then they destroy them. They will revert back to feminist ideology once they get a man. And once they have the slightest amount of dissatisfaction, they start punishing and controlling. And like any addict, the feminist, once they get a little bit of that poison going, become a poison factory. Now, I've talked about a process that can take a month. That is the anti-feminist becoming a full-born feminist. It can happen in a month. Like I said, bam, just instantly, she starts playing out the program with you. She wants a man, she wants children, she wants marriage, she wants traditionalism, she wants stability, she wants security. She wants social status. And as soon as she decides, I want all those things, and she gets a man, then she sets about with the program. How do I keep it? How do I not lose it? How do I get more? And they start the manipulative games. Now, this program can also take 3 years to play out. She could say, I want all of these things. I want a man. I want children. I want security. I want safety. I want prosperity. I want a traditional marriage. I want this. I want that. And she can get a man and say, I have to get to the marriage. I have to be patient. I have to wait. And then they get married, and then the games start. Then the games start. My games started in my marriage, right the moment I met her. The games started. And we fought and battled back and forth. It wasn't until my second son was on the way that the game went into overdrive. It was at that point she could destroy me utterly, and she felt comfortable in becoming a lunatic bitch. Off the fucking hook. So it can happen after a month. It can happen after 3 years. It can happen at 10 years where they go 100% fuck you rogue.